ESPN's Adam Schefter, the top insider in all of football, the guy who's most tapped in with what's going on in the National Football League, is saying that this could be the craziest offseason ever. He went on TV on ESPN and said that teams around the NFL consider this draft class in 2026 and the crop of free agents that are set to hit the market as well this spring are subpar compared to years past. And he's also saying that there could be an uptick in trades, player trades, this offseason. He's also saying that some NFL teams have been pushing for trades to extend for 5 years. The next 5 years of your draft picks can be traded. That's what some NFL owners and front offices are petitioning for right now, as it's currently only 3. So if I put my thinking cap on real quick, as you're watching Panthers Today by Chat Sports, my name is Tyler Smith. If they're thinking about 5 years of NFL draft picks that they can end up trading away, that means they're probably thinking about trading for some big-time players, some blockbuster moves in mind for some of these NFL teams. More from Schefter here on what he had to say about this upcoming offseason. He said, we got a free agent class that's not deep. We got a draft that's not considered real deep. You know what that tells me? It tells me that we may get more wheeling and dealing in trades than we've had in other years. It seems to be a trend in recent years that teams are unafraid to make a big deal. All right. So with the Panthers being in a spot where this roster can be improved at basically every juncture, right? Like the pass rush can be improved. The off-ball backer spot can be improved. The secondary can be improved in the safety room. Even the defensive line on the interior can be improved a little bit. The offensive line can be improved. The weapons can be improved. Like everything on this Panthers roster can be improved. So we're going to break down some big-time trades that your Carolina Panthers could make this offseason. If Schefter's saying it could be the craziest offseason ever, why don't we dive into what that could look like for your Carolina Panthers? With that being said, answer this for me in the comment section right now. Predict it. Get your crystal ball out and let me know what you think. Will the Panthers trade for a player? Will they make a player trade this offseason? Why for yes and for no? What do you guys think Dan Morgan and the Panthers front office is going to do this offseason? All right, so let's get crazy, man. Let's just do it. It's the middle of February. Who cares? There isn't crazy news flying around yet. We still got about a month until free agency kicks into high gear. So why don't we go after some big-time blockbuster trades for the Panthers? Look, none of these guys are too likely, but if Schefter's report is true and we're seeing some big-time wheeling and dealing via trades, then the Panthers have no excuse but to get involved. All right, so first blockbuster trade target here for Carolina. I'm going with Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, why am I bringing up BTJ here? Well, it's not super likely the Jaguars even entertain trade offers on him, but you can't escape the fact that he's kind of fallen out of favor in that offense. A very weak year 2 compared to his rookie season, where he was one of the better receivers in all of football. But now we've seen him kind of fall behind the likes of Parker Washington, of Jacoby Myers, who was just traded for and extended down in Jacksonville. And then Travis Hunter got hurt. He's going to come back for 2026, and they're planning on playing him both ways full time. So is BTJ kind of the odd man out? It's crazy to consider that when he had 1,300 yards in his rookie year, 10 touchdowns. He's had 15 yards a catch each of the last 2 seasons, but the production certainly dipped in 2025. We saw a drop issue. We saw a clear lack of comfortability between Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. We actually saw the most success for BTJ come when Mac Jones was quarterbacking down in Jacksonville. Now, it would still likely cost a haul to trade for Brian Thomas Jr. It's probably going to cost the 19th overall pick. And would I be super excited to give up the 19th overall selection to go get BTJ? No, because he only has, 2 years left in the rookie deal plus the 5th-year option because he was taken at the back half of round 1. I wouldn't be super excited to trade away pick 19, but if you said you're guaranteed to get that rookie season BTJ, yeah, I'm sending away pick 19 and making the deal to go get a new receiver for Bryce Young. What about our second blockbuster trade target, which I know many Panther fans are going to be excited for? Maxx Crosby. What many people believe to be a top 3, top 4, top 5 pass rusher in all of football. Some people have him as high as 2 behind Myles Garrett. And according to some NFL insiders, not named Adam Schefter, Jay Glazer actually reported that Maxx Crosby wants out of Las Vegas. He does not want to do another rebuild, another new head coach, another new regime coming in here to run the Raiders, and he wants out of Las Vegas to find a new home. And look, man, if this Panthers team wants to upgrade their pass rush in one swing of the bat, completely transform it, then look no further than Maxx Crosby. Now, I will say he's gotten a bit banged up over the last 2 years, and now the games that he missed in 2025, that has a lot to do with the Raiders trying to tank and sit him out more so than him actually dealing with a lingering injury. But in 2024, he missed 5 games. 2023 and 2022, though, he was by far one of the best pass rushers in all of football. 27 sacks over those 2 seasons, and he was still able to amass double digits in a 15-game sample size in 2025. So what would a trade look like for Maxx Crosby here? We've talked about it a little bit on the channel before. I think it would cost at least pick 19. He is 29 years old. Like, he's going to be entering his age 30 season, and he's missed time over the last 2 years. So he's not going to go for like as much as Micah Parsons went for at the beginning of last year, especially when you consider Parsons was way more durable. He didn't get hurt until after he was traded and extended by Green Bay. So I think it would cost the 19th overall pick, a 2027 third-round pick, and then, they got to throw a player in there. I don't think there are a ton of players on Carolina's roster that Vegas is going to be dying to go get. So how about a player that Carolina's trying to trade in Xavier Legette? I think it's a good enough deal to get Maxx Crosby, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of suitors that would offer a bit more than just this offer. What do you guys think? If you want the Panthers to trade for Maxx Crosby, do one thing for me. Make it happen. Manifest it. Manifest Dave Morgan making the biggest swing of his career. Hit that like button to lock it in so the Panthers go out there and trade for Maxx Crosby this offseason. All right, another name here, Patrick Queen. If we're looking at off-ball backers, linebackers that could be big-time trade candidates this offseason, look no further than Patrick Queen, one of the better guys at that spot in this league. Now, he is entering a contract year. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. Makes $10.8 million this year. That's a contract I'm absolutely willing to pay for Patrick Queen, one of the better linebackers in this league, a guy who has had over 120 tackles in each of the last 3 seasons, man. Not going to be somebody who's necessarily a pass rusher, at least the years in Pittsburgh would tell you that. Some of the years back in Baltimore, 5 sacks in 2022, that's utterly ridiculous. But he can also drop back in coverage as well. Like, he's a very multifaceted player and a guy who gets better every single season. So I'd be all in favor of bringing Patrick Queen to Carolina. And from the Panthers' perspective, like, it makes total sense. Dan Morgan is a linebacker, was a linebacker for this franchise. How about we prioritize that position a little bit? Christian Rozeboom cannot be the guy that is the only signing made or only transaction made by the Carolina Panthers at the off-ball backer spot this offseason. It would be a travesty if that happened. So how about you go bring in a guy with experience and a guy who's probably going to play to the best of his abilities in 2026, considering he's going to try to get paid for 2027 and beyond. Next up on this list, Jermaine Johnson II of the New York Jets. Can we get this guy out of the Jets organization, for God's sakes? He deserves it. He's an up-and-coming, you could say younger pass rusher. I believe he's 27 years old, though, so he actually is one of the older guys, considering he's been in the league for, 3 years at this point. Look, Dan Morgan also said that he wants to add 1 to 2 additional edge rushers for this team. You think? Sure, they have Princey Umamielen and Nick Scoriton, who are there, young guys, but we need a little bit more established talent at that edge rusher spot. Guaranteed sacks. Like, the only way the Panthers are going to get over this playoff hump, now that they're kind of in the mix, get to the quarterback. The reason they weren't able to beat the Rams in the wild card was because they could not get pressure on Matt Stafford. Now, Jermaine Johnson's another guy who's dealt with pretty substantial injuries in his career. 2024, he was limited to just 2 games. But in 2023, 7.5 sacks. This year, not so much, but was really anybody producing on that Jets roster this past year? No, it was a travesty. Plus, he missed 3 games in 2025 as well. Look to that 7.5 sack season in 2023 for what you could be getting at a Jermaine Johnson. I'd be all in favor of it, man. But I'll throw a little bit of cold water on it. It's a blockbuster for a reason, because according to Connor Hughes at SNY, one of the top reporters for the Jets passed up a second-round pick for Jermaine Johnson. And I'm not giving anything else more than a second-round pick for a guy who only had 3 sacks in 2025 and has missed time in each of the past 2 seasons. Absolutely not. So they can go out there and pass on a second-round pick again. That's all I'm offering for Jermaine Johnson. I'd love to bring him to Carolina, but if the price is too steep, we'll go find elsewhere help. All right, lastly on this list, Budda Baker. One of the better safeties in the NFL over the last, half decade. Like, he's just been at the top of his position year in and year out. And I know a lot of Panthers fans aren't too keen on bringing back a guy like Nick Scott at that safety spot. So could they just going for the A game, going for the home run in terms of the safety position, and go after a guy like Budda Baker? Panthers fans know. You guys in the comments all the time. Nick Scott's got to go. We got to get a new safety next to Trevon Moehrig. this is one that gets it done. Like, Budda Baker is as good as he gets in terms of adding a safety to your room. He can make tackles in the open field. One of the better tacklers in all of football. In 2024, the guy had 164, for God's sakes. Now, he hasn't really been crazy in the coverage game, or at least creating turnovers in that regard. Only one interception over the last 3 seasons, but you go back to 2022, he had 7 PBUs and 2 picks in that season. Like, this guy still gets a hand on the football, just hasn't been creating turnovers as of late. He's also been with the Arizona Cardinals. That's like the Jets West. Like, they're terrible. They have no direction whatsoever. They're bringing in a new head coach in Mike LaFleur, who I'm sure is going to prioritize the offense a little bit more than the defense. So how about Budda Baker gets his behind out of Arizona and with a real contending team in this league, the Carolina Panthers? Look, he's been in and out of trade rumors for like the last 3 years, it seems, at this point. How about we just nip that all in the bud, get it over and done with, and send a 3rd round pick and maybe a 4th round, 3rd and a 5th round pick for Budda Baker? I'd be down for it, would you? Let me know in the comments section. Name a player the Panthers should trade for this offseason. If Dan Morgan's going to make a massive swing to try to improve this roster, who's a player you want to see in a blockbuster trade heading to Carolina? Let me know who that is down in the comment section, as that will do it for today's show. Make sure you give me a follow over on Twitter at Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's because the name's common, but I am not. And make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. YouTube.com/Panthers Today for the latest and greatest under Carolina Panthers all offseason long. We'll see you guys next time, and as always, keep pounding.